Are you tired of all those English learning hacks that promise fluency in days but leave you stuck? You know the ones. Learn English in 30 days, become fluent in a week with this one trick. What if everything you thought you knew about learning English quickly was actually slowing you down? What if the very act of rushing your English journey is the biggest mistake you're making? In today's episode, I'm going to expose the truth about why the chase for instant fluency is often a trap. We're going to dive into what I call English learning unhacks, which is a counterintuitive approach that emphasizes a slower, more deliberate pace. I believe this path is not just more effective, but it's the only way to achieve genuine, lasting English proficiency. So, let's get started. Here's the first unhack. Speed doesn't equal skill. For years, I've seen students fall for the instant gratification myth. You scroll through social media and what do you see? Promises of learning English in 30 days or speaking like a native in 2 months. These solutions, while tempting, often set you up for massive failure. Why? Because they promote a surface-level understanding rather than deep integration with the language. Think about it this way. When you're rushing, you're often just memorizing at best. You're going through the motions. You're trying to shove as much vocabulary or as many grammar rules into your brain as quickly as possible. But memorization is not comprehension. It's not application. You might know the rule, but can you use it naturally in a conversation? You might know a list of 50 new words, but can you recall them instantly and appropriately when you need them? If you're just rushing through, the answer is usually no. This leads to what I call the confidence killer. When you try to speak too fast, or when you attempt to use words and structures you've only superficially learned, what happens? You make more mistakes. Then you hesitate more. And that in turn makes you less willing to practice. It's a vicious cycle that stems directly from trying to learn English too fast. The next unhack is the illusion of quick fluency. Let's talk about what fluency actually means. Many learners, especially those caught in the hack trap, think fluency is about speaking fast. The quicker you speak, the more fluent you are, right? Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Fluency isn't about pace. It's about flow. True fluency is about natural expression. It's about being able to communicate your ideas smoothly, coherently, and effectively, without undue mental work. It's about your brain working with you, not against you. And that brings me to cognitive overload. When you try to learn vocabulary or grammar rules too quickly, you're essentially overwhelming your brain. This overload actually hinders or hurts long-term retention. Your brain needs time to process, categorize, and solidify new information. If you don't give it that time, that information simply won't stick. You won't retain it. To put this into perspective, let's compare language learning to other forms of skill acquisition. Imagine trying to master a musical instrument in 30 days. You can learn a few chords, maybe even play a song, a simple song, but will you be a virtuoso? Will you have that deep, intuitive connection with the instrument? Of course not. The same goes for mastering a sport. You can't become a professional athlete overnight. It takes years of consistent, deliberate practice, repetition, and a slow, steady progression of skills. Language is no different. It requires practice, patience, and deliberate progress, brick by brick. The next unhack is embracing the deliberate pace. If speed isn't the answer, what is? It's about embracing a deliberate pace. It's about understanding that sometimes slower is, in fact, faster. One of the most powerful unhacks is to embrace the power of thoughtful pauses. Many people think speaking quickly is seen as a sign of intelligence or competence. But in English, especially for a learner, strategic pauses are your friends. They allow you to select the right word, to organize your thoughts, and to ensure clearer communication. A short pause to find the perfect adjective is far more effective and impressive than blurting out the wrong word because you are rushing. It shows control, not hesitation. It shows you're thinking, which is exactly what a fluent speaker does. Another crucial shift is to focus on understanding, not just direct translation. Many learners get stuck trying to translate word for word from their native language. This is incredibly inefficient and often leads to unnatural sounding English. Instead, shift your focus to grasping the core meaning. When you hear or read something, ask yourself, what is the main idea here? What are they trying to convey? This trains your brain to think directly in English concepts rather than constantly bouncing between two languages. And this leads me to quality over quantity. Forget about watching 100 YouTube videos a day or buying every single English learning book on the market. Deep engagement with fewer resources is significantly more effective than superficial engagement with many resources. Pick a high-quality podcast episode, listen to it multiple times, transcribe it, analyze the vocabulary, mimic the intonation. That deep dive into one resource will yield far more progress than skimming 10 different ones. The next unhack is building a solid foundation, brick by brick. How do you actually do this? How do you build that foundation? It's all about mastering core concepts or mastering the basics, as I say. You see, many learners get distracted by advanced grammar rules or obscure vocabulary before they have truly cemented the fundamentals. But true communicative competence, true fluency, comes from a rock-solid understanding of fundamental grammar and high-frequency vocabulary. Prioritize these. Can you confidently use the present perfect? Do you understand the difference between all the past tenses? Are you comfortable with the most common words in English? If not, dedicate your time there with the basics. These are your building blocks. Without them, any advanced structure you try to add will simply crumble. Next, we have active listening and observation. This is huge. Don't just listen to English, observe it. Pay meticulous attention to native speakers' intonation, their rhythm, their natural phrasing. How do they connect words? Where do they pause? How does their voice rise and fall? This isn't just about understanding the words, it's about internalizing the music of the language. When you observe how native speakers use the language, you start to naturally incorporate those patterns into your own speech. And finally, the art of repetition with variation. Repetition is vital, but simply repeating the same thing over and over can get boring and even ineffective at some point. The key is repetition with variation. Revisit material in different contexts. If you learned a new phrase from a podcast, try to use it in a conversation. Then try writing it in an email. Then look for examples of that phrase in a different article. This constant re-exposure in varied situations solidifies understanding and recall, moving that vocabulary and grammar from your passive knowledge to your active, usable English. So there you have it, the unhacks to true English fluency. This path might seem lower on the surface, but it leads to a deeper, more resilient kind of learning. Patience is your superpower. Reframe slow progress not as failure, but as a sign of deep, lasting learning. Each thoughtful pause, each moment you spend deeply engaging with a concept is building a stronger foundation. And please, celebrate small victories. Don't wait until you are fluent to feel good about your progress. Did you use a new idiom correctly today? Did you understand a complex sentence in a podcast? Did you have a conversation without constantly translating in your head? These incremental improvements are not just steps, they are triumphs. So acknowledge them, celebrate them. This will fuel your motivation and help you avoid burnout. This long-term vision, this embracing of unhacks, not hacks, leads to something truly special, genuine, effortless English communication that lasts a lifetime. It's not about fleeting tricks or shortcuts. It's about building a skill that will serve you, enrich your life, and open up endless opportunities. I hope this episode has given you a different perspective on your English learning journey. Stop chasing the hacks and the quick solutions. Instead, embrace a deliberate and slower pace and watch your fluency truly blossom over time. If you're looking for personalized feedback and guidance on your English and help on building this solid foundation, I highly recommend you book a one-on-one fluency discovery call with me. For 90 minutes on Zoom, we will dive deep into your current level, identify your strengths and weaknesses, and create a personalized action plan to help you build sustainable fluency, brick by brick. The link to book a session with me is in the description below. I'm looking forward to talking to you and getting to know you better. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Make sure you like this video, share this video with a friend who needs to hear this reality check, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you want to keep exploring how to truly build lasting English proficiency and fluency, I recommend you watch this video next, where I talk about the fundamentals of active learning. So check it out. You don't want to miss it.